Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bryony and I do cruelty-free and vegan makeup reviews and tutorials on this channel. Now today, we're looking at Australis. Now they are cruelty-free, they are Choose Cruelty-Free certified, and I've specifically chosen products that are vegan. They do have like some of their eyeshadows, a few of their lipsticks, some of the mascaras. They aren't vegan, but the ones that I'm showing you are definitely vegan. This is the Neutralize palette that I'll be going over with you. I also have the foundation, which I'm not wearing today, but I will of course share that with you too. I'm using the Fake It mascara, Girl Boss lipstick. This is in the shade Diva. It's a little bit hard to apply. It kind of applies a bit patchy. I had to put a gloss over it. And the other thing that I bought as well was the AC on Tour Contouring and Highlight Palette. So this is for the light complexion, which is obviously me because I'm so pale. But I heard that this was actually a dupe for the ABH one, which everybody loved a few years ago. So if there's a way that you can get something cheaper, it's still cruelty-free and vegan, and then you're not supporting a brand that's gone a little bit more problematic, probably a good thing. So let's just jump into my full review. Of course I'll be sharing with you all the swatches. Let's have a look at these swatches. So as you can see, like I said, I've definitely been using this. Now I just sort of want to see... Oh, it looks like a mosquito's just bitten me. Wonderful. Now I am wearing these shades today. So the shades I'm wearing today, I've got this one as a little inner corner highlight. I have this on my lids, and then I layered this one on my lids. I've used this one in the crease as sort of my transition shade, and I've used this one to darken up the crease. I have so far been finding that with these shimmery shades, you do need to use a finger to apply. They don't apply well with a brush, is what I'm finding so far. But I have found no issues with these. Very pigmented, as you can see. Like white colours I tend to find in cheaper palettes are not great. That looks very chalky to me, but the shimmers are beautiful, and honestly if you have anything around like blue or green eyes, this shade is like stellar. It's kind of like a warm deep salmon, a bit like a rose shade. Yeah, so that's beautiful. This palette in particular has actually reviewed really well. The baby pink, it's kind of okay. Like I did use a tiny bit of the baby pink, but the pigmentation on it is really weak. But when it comes to like these shimmery shades, they're definitely standing out. This one is a nice muted purple, definitely on the muted side. But in terms of like a drugstore palette, I've actually been quite impressed with the pigmentation. Like all of those shades are actually pretty good. It's only the very light ones that are not so good. So this shade again is the main one that I put on my lids. It's much more salmon-y than I thought it was going to be. Same as that gold. That is a beautiful gold. Wow. But yeah, like I said, when I tried to apply it with a brush, it just kind of went... I'm just being honest with you. Like, of course I bought all of these products, but I like to make sure that I'm honest. But as you can see, that is that row. Now onto the bottom row. I've used this one a few times. This shadow is lovely and pigmented, but it's not too pigmented. Like, you can easily build it up, which is a good thing, especially for a drugstore brand where you might not be used to having such pigmented products. This reminds me of Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek, which everyone always raved about. So this one is a little ashy. Chocolate shade is a bit better. Let's look at the black. Black is always a test on a palette. Yeah, it's hard for a drugstore to get black right. So, of course I started in total order. So we go from the top row is to here, then the next row down is from this little pink part here. Then we've got all of the metallics, and then we have the bottom row. Let's jump into some more, and I'm just gonna go wash my arm. So this foundation says it's a full coverage and ultra lightweight foundation with skin loving vitamins C and E and SPF 15 to moisturize, smooth and protect. I'll give you a lowdown on my skin right now because my skin is very problematic. So my skin is oily, I have large pores, I have acne scars, I have a few active spots. I'll be 31 by the time this video comes out, so my skin is starting to show the signs of aging, which is wonderful. Okay, it is 5:10 in the morning, so I'm putting this on today with only moisturizer on underneath. Okay, that does not smell pleasant. I'm gonna take some of this. This is the shade Fair. I I'm very well aware of this, so we're going to try and fix this later on with some of that bronzer. I want to show you how this actually works on camera. There's a good amount of fallout with these. Whilst there's a good amount of fallout, like, they are nicely pigmented, these like eyeshadows, at least for the most part. For a drugstore brand, I always do set my expectations just that little bit lower. And then I'll take a little bit of this shade. And this one is definitely more pigmented than that last one. I actually tried to use this one with a Halloween look. So yeah, but then when you try and apply these with a brush, it doesn't really work out the best as well, so you kind of have to use your fingers. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm just going to go in with this one. This is probably my favourite one. Just patting it on. But anyway, you see how nice it applies with your finger? It's really, really nice and shimmery. But then you have the problem with the highlight. This is where we struggle, so I have to use a brush for this part because can't really go putting your finger in the inner corner of your eye. But I'm just going to use this champagne-y colour. Going in just here, a bit up here, so we've got some in the brow bone. You can see like the glow is actually really, really nice. I mean, I'll just hold this up so you can really see all that fallout. This one has the mirror in it. You know what? This mirror is honestly incredible. I've only really used this shade. I haven't really gone in with the other ones. I will actually just take my big fluffy brush and go in with the lighter bronzer because I haven't used this one. I know that I love this contour powder. This contour powder is incredible. The one thing about this is it smells really powdery. Like, you know, that very, very powdery sort of smell. Anyway, I'll just show you. So you see how pigmented that is? And I haven't really found like any issues with this at all. This is the highlight. And some people this might be okay, but for me this is looks like the rest of my shiny face at the moment. Wow. If you want a really subtle, and I mean subtle, highlight, then this could be the one for you. It's really powdery as well. I will show you how this looks now. So I've been using this mascara for about a month. For this mascara, what I've been finding is it separates your lashes well. It doesn't make them curl a whole bunch, so you will still need to use a curler, but I just want to show you how it works on my lashes. In terms of waterproofness, if you have weepy eyes, it won't let your eyes weep, which is fantastic. I think that's great. But when I have a shower at night and it's like if you're rubbing them or anything, or you have water directly on them, it does actually come off. So I just wanted to be completely open with you about that. It doesn't like run down your face, but it kind of comes off in clumps, which is the better way for it to do that. And I do like how the brush is sort of angled upwards, so you can see that. Okay, so that is one coat on both. I didn't use that lipstick. I've only got one shade, and it's like that lipstick is so bad. I really do not like the way that this is sitting on my face right now. It kind of feels matte, but also like it could fall apart any second. And it's obviously not really the ideal when it comes to, you know, wanting to have like makeup that will last all day. The concealer I still do not think is very pigmented. It feels waxy. Let's see what it's like at the end of the day. So it is now 8:15 at night, and as you can see, my skin is definitely got a glow. More of the oily kind than the dewy kind, which people like. The smell is disgusting of that product. I can't lie about that. Just here, oof. It's not transfer proof. Let's see what it's like because we do the rest of the tests. You know how the drill goes here. Alright, I'm going to use primer and powder today. But now you can really see how my skin is looking. I think that I got a little bit of primer just like bundled up here, but I'm just gonna ignore that. So I'm actually quite liking the way this is feeling and looking. It's just the smell of that product I cannot get over. But it is now nearly 7:15, so I'm going to head off to work, and I'll see you lovelies tonight. It is 8:35 at night now, so clearly my face is not looking the best. And what I noticed today was it was around about 4 that I could really see that there was separation that was happening, and it kind of looked like there was more separation around on my chin and around here. I believe that in like a bunch of other areas of my face it's actually looking okay, but not 100% sold. Let's see what it's like with all of this and the setting spray tomorrow. And this is my CoverFX High Performance Setting Spray. This is the one that I use every day normally. I've done all the other steps. The full shebang today. Now let's have a look at what the finish is like. Not hating it so far. I kind of noticed that it was a little bit hard to apply around my nose and on my nose, but other than that I like the way it looks on my forehead, cheeks, like on the planes of my face. But let's see what it looks like after 12 plus hours of wear. I'm sorry the angle's terrible, I just got off a very long international phone call, but it is now 10:15 at night, way past my bedtime, and now you can really see how my makeup is looking. So I noticed that there is still separation around here that has happened, and on my chin, around my forehead, and again around the planes of my face. It hasn't faded, it's actually stuck around really well. It's just in these particular areas. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep on wearing this for a few more weeks, and let's just skip ahead to my final review. Alright, final review time, but where's my lipstick? We'll be asking that same question in a moment anyway. I purposefully haven't got anything else extra on my lips to just try and show you, because I won't be able to wear this, I can guarantee it, because I've tried so many times over the past couple of months. At the start of this video, I was wearing this, but like I said, I had to put a whole bunch of lip gloss on top because just this shade, this formula, terrible. In case you're wondering what I replaced the lipstick with, this is Topanga from Colourpop. It's just a lippy sticks, and it's cheaper than what you can buy that for. So anyway, final thoughts, final review, let's jump in. AC on Tour palette. You'll see it featured in more videos because I'm actually pretty impressed with this. I even have the highlighter on today. It's kind of grown on me a little bit. Again, the formulation, very powdery, very much like the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. It's just like a cheaper version of it, but actually pretty good. I just kind of wish that you could just pick which pans you wanted, because I would really only pick these two and that one, because I haven't even bothered with either of these. Formulations are good, it's just the powdery smell that I've mentioned before. I would repurchase this, I want some modification. Or I just want to be able to refill this, TBH. If you could just refill, that'd be great, because then I could put other blushes in here. I'd love that. The Neutralize palette, which I am wearing on my lids today. So I've got the Cocoa Bear dupe shade on. I have a bit of this one in that outer part, and then I've used this one in this part here, and I've used a little bit of this shade as well to just deepen up a little bit more, and I did use a bit of the black. My thoughts on this entire palette is a pretty good palette. Honestly, for a drugstore, very impressed. I kind of feel like everything is too mid-tone. It's like you've got maybe 3 examples down here of dark shades, and you have 3 examples of light shades. When you look at the rest of it, it's all mid. So it's really, really hard to actually get like decent contrast happenings, because when I've been creating eye looks, I've kind of found like, oh, everything's almost like same, you know? So I can understand why they came up with Neutralize 2 and like more extreme variations, because I kind of feel like that's the only thing that's missing. Like I said, with any of these formulas you have to apply with your fingers, but it is still a good palette. I don't know necessarily if this would actually work for deeper skin tones. Well, Maddox, you okay? If you are basic B, there is no shade in wanting this and no shade in getting it. I've still been using it a lot. Right, so they're okay. They're absolutely fine. Actually, no, to be honest, the concealer is weak, the pigmentation is bad, and it just doesn't really cover very much. I have to use a lot of concealer to try and like cover up. It's just not the best thing for someone with oily skin like me. I kind of still find that it separates. I don't... Maddox! Okay, he's got the serious zoomies, I apologize. I personally would still be recommending to go for the e.l.f. formulation over this. I know this is like supporting local, but I just haven't found it to be like impressive on the same level as the e.l.f. one is, and they're about the same price, so I'm like, well, why would I repurchase this when I could just use the e.l.f. one? I'll wear this for like every day at work, like I've got it on right now, but when it comes to like all my other things, I'm still using the e.l.f. one, to be honest. The mascara. I think this is actually pretty good. Like, I'm wearing it today. I did notice a couple of flakes yesterday. This is 6 weeks into using the formulation. I don't really necessarily think it creates like a fake effect with your lashes. It's just a good mascara. Like, in terms of the lift, it provides like a little bit of lift, not very much curl, but like my lashes don't like shift down to like being their usual regular straight flatness. Like, this does help, but if you have like straight lashes like me, you will need to use like a curler. The way that I remove it is when I'm in the shower or something, and I literally just go like this, and I find that it just like comes off like in like little pieces. It's not like the Thrive Cosmetics tubing mascara, which is still my favorite one. Haven't been able to replace that so far. If you're in need and all you've got around you is like your regular drugstores, then you'll be okay with this one. That's it. That's my full review. I don't really know what else to say. Some things are good, some things are bad. Foundation, basically a mess. I hope that this was useful for you. If you did find it handy, please do give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe and check me out on Instagram right here, because I'm always on there. My stories are where like I share a whole bunch of really useful information, and that's where I kind of like do most of my communication, to be honest with you, because Twitter is toxic and I'm not getting into that. Yes, and don't forget, the reason that we have all of this wonderful, beautiful Christmas setup is because we've got the 12 days of Christmas, 12 days of festivities, 12 days of good news beauty stories. So that is what you can look forward to. So don't forget to subscribe for that. And I'll be coming out with videos basically every other day in December, so then we can go over all of the good things that have happened throughout history, currently everything to do with good things that have happened in the beauty industry. Thank you, lovelies, so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!